Double Chuka, yeah. You gotta get out, take your license, and they go through the screening process. I got my card now.
Oh, she did.
So if I could just turn in the card and update it.
Thanks. Okay, I guess Monday at 10.
I don't know if I can make it. If you guys leave it to the afternoon, I'd have a better chance. But until you get them guys that's tired, you
this is a
could have been on Tuesday, but we're not leaving until the afternoon.
This is Tuesday at 10. Tuesday at 10 would be on the future
Yes, I got a conflict on Monday.
Tuesday. That's
Okay. Marcy beats the hell out of you.
okay. Now call to order this regular session of Mayor and City Council meeting, 6:14 p.m. Wednesday, December 6, 2017, here at City Hall Complex Chambers. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation? Thank you so much. Councilman Rojas, would you lead us as the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have today Pastor Asaf Crespo? Would you lead us in the invocation, please?
Quisiera hacer una mención de un escrito de este gran líder llamado Nehemías que dijo lo siguiente: no podemos abandonar la gran obra que estamos haciendo porque no la podemos dejar a medias. Tampoco nos vamos a amedrentar ni nos vamos a debilitar en nuestras manos hasta que terminemos la obra que Dios ha puesto en nuestras manos. Ahora, Dios, te pedimos que fortalezcas nuestras manos. Señor y Padre nuestro, en esta tarde te pido por cada uno de estos hijos tuyos, líderes de esta comunidad de Nogales, que tú pongas en ellos, Señor, el entendimiento de saber que tenemos una gran obra en nuestras manos para ser de bendición para muchas personas. Te pido que pongas sabiduría en cada decisión que se va a tomar, Señor. Que no abandonemos la obra hasta concluirla, Señor, porque ese es el propósito por el cual tú nos pusiste en ese lugar. Gracias por cada uno de estos hombres y por sus familias. Te pido que los bendigas y que nada los atemorice. Tampoco, Señor, que no nos cansemos de hacer el bien, porque a su tiempo segaremos. Y por último, solamente te pido que tú fortalezcas nuestras manos para terminar la gran obra que has puesto en nuestras manos y bendecir esta comunidad tan grande de Nogales. Bendícenos, Señor, con tu bendición, en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Amén.
Gracias, pastor, por esas palabras.
Gracias por la invitación.
Gracias. Going into call to the public. Do we have any call to the public today? No? Okay, going to discussion items number 5.1. We have the proclamation supporting a statewide attainment goal in a world-class education for all students that Selena Llamas has brought to our community's attention. And if you'd like to come to the podium, Selena, and give us a few words on your program?
Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Thank you so much for allowing me to come and share a little bit about Expect More Arizona, and also thank you especially to Mayor Doyle and Dr. Verona for being the first to really, I approached them and they were just more than willing to hear what I had to say and move forward with this type of proclamation. Expect More Arizona, I'm the Southern Arizona manager for Expect More Arizona, and we're a nonpartisan, nonprofit education advocacy organization. We're about 6.5 years old, and we advocate for every child, actually every student, because a student can be 45 years old, right? 45, 50, 60 years old. So we advocate for every student in Arizona from birth through career. So every student, regardless if they live in, what's the Nogales zip code? 85621. If they live in 85621 or 85706, which is the south side of Tucson, regardless of where they live, regardless if their last name is Lopez or Shalowski, that every student deserves a world-class education in Arizona. Unfortunately, that is not reality at the very, very moment, so that is why we're here and why we work with local governments and local communities to make sure that education is a top priority in our state. About 1.5 years ago, we partnered with the Center for the Future of Arizona, also another nonpartisan group, and we developed a education progress meter. The Center for the Future of Arizona develops other progress meters such as health and economic development, and it was just a great opportunity to work on an education progress meter. And what we worked together about 1.5 years ago to develop this, along with over 200 organizations. What we came, the final product is we are measuring education progress in our state, so that we can all, whether you're in Nogales or you live in the White Mountains or whatever corner of the state you live in, we can all look at one framework to measure how we're doing as a state and local communities, how we're doing to make sure that our communities have the best quality education, and that we are preparing the future workforce. We need an educated workforce in Arizona, and the fact is that we only have 42% of adults 24 years and older that have a 2 or 4-year degree in Arizona. The goal right now is by 2030, we want to reach 60% of Arizona adults to have a 2 or 4-year certificate. So we developed a progress meter where we are tracking 8 indicators. If you don't mind passing this along. Dr. Rodona and Mayor Doyle have seen this, but we're tracking 8 indicators really stemming from early education, K-12, and higher ed. It begins with quality early learning, 3rd grade reading, 8th grade math, high school graduation, opportunity youth, which is youth 16 to 24 years of age not going to school or currently working, post-high school enrollment, attainment, actually those going to a college or university, not just attending a few classes, but coming out, graduating with a 2 or 4-year degree. And the last indicator we are tracking is teacher pay. None of the other indicators can be moved. The needle cannot be moved on any of the others until we address the teacher pay issue that we have in our state, because Arizona is number 50th in the nation with how much we compensate and support our teachers. So we have some goals to reach by 2030, with the only exception being teacher pay. We're trying to reach that goal to pay teachers the national median within the next 5 years. So there's a lot of work to do, and again, we cannot do it without Nogales. We cannot do it without communities like Nogales, Rio Rico, Sahuarita, Tucson, Marana, and all the other surrounding communities. So that is the reason why I approached Dr. Verona, being the education champion that he is in Nogales, and also sitting with Mayor Doyle, because we all need one framework, again, to track education progress. And I have to point out this, that even though you might see some bleak statistics on this progress meter, and you might not be particularly happy that only 44% of third graders read proficiently in Arizona, I have to tell you that in southern Arizona, guess which county is more academically advanced than the other counties in southern Arizona?
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. Your academic performance in many of the indicators far exceeds those of Pima County, Cochise, Graham, and Greenlee. So I have to applaud you. You are doing something right. You have a system set up, regardless if you are a border town or not, regardless if many of your students are ELL or any of the other challenges, if you will. Your county is doing a great job, and we just want to continue to track your progress and track the collective progress in our state. So I'm here to ask the city of Nogales to support the education progress meter and become a partner with Expect More Arizona. And that pretty much entails just being open to other opportunities to partner. I'll be giving you frequent, probably every 6 months or a year or so, I will be giving you updates as far as how you are progressing as a city, county, and then as a state. So I've asked the city of Nogales to adopt the education progress meter as a framework to track our progress, local and statewide. Any questions? I don't know how.
Is there any questions from the council?
Questions or comments?
No, just can you highlight other cities that have passed this proclamation?
Yes, you are 1 out of 5 local governments in southern Arizona who have passed a proclamation and who are partnering with Expect More Arizona. The city of Tucson, town of Marana, town of Sahuarita, and the city of Douglas. So you are 1 out of 5 at the moment. But collectively as a state, we've done similar proclamations with over 23 city governments within just this year alone. And so we're going to continue on next year to partner with other local city governments and also county entities. We're also partnering with County Board of Supervisors. So watch out, I will be approaching your County Board of Supervisors.
Good. Well, we all need to be on the same page and same frame of mind. And I thank you for the work you're doing and improving even the goals we've attained. We hope to reach higher goals, and with your help, I believe it'll make it easier for us. So I want to thank you. Is there anything else for the council?
No, Mayor, could you read the proclamation?
Yes, definitely. So I have here the proclamation from the mayor's office from the city of Nogales. Proclamation of the mayor and city council of the city of Nogales, Arizona, supporting a statewide attainment goal for a world-class education for all students. The city of Nogales recognizes that we have to make education a top priority in our community to ensure a strong economic future and a higher quality of life for everyone. And whereas the city of Nogales understands that our future economy and workforce demands will require more than a high school diploma, and only 42% of Arizona adults currently possess a degree, certificate, or industry credential. And whereas the city of Nogales recognizes the need to improve educational attainment and supports the statewide attainment goal of 60% by 2030, and whereas Expect More for Arizona and the Center for the Future of Arizona statewide nonpartisan organizations have launched an Arizona Education Progress Meter by which we can measure our progress on attainment and other key education indicators. And whereas the city of Nogales believes in the importance of the community coming together and the significance of partnerships to achieve big goals and tackle large issues like those defined by the Arizona Education Progress Meter. Furthermore, the City Council hereby affirms the Arizona Education Progress Meter as a tool to make progress toward the attainment goal by tracking the priority indicators for our local community, and affirms that we are a world-class education partner with Expect More Arizona. We will work together to advance this shared vision for education. It witness thereof, we have unto set my hand and caused to be affixed the great seal of the city of Nogales, County of Santa Cruz, Arizona, signed by me, John F. Doyle, done at City Hall in Nogales on this 6th day of December in the year of our Lord, 2017, and the independence of the United States of America, the 241 year. Thank you so much for making us a part.
Thank you. I appreciate your partnership. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, it's no proclamation.
It's a proclamation, yes. But we're the whole.
We're in agreement.
We definitely. Hopefully. Okay. So,
Our proclamation.
Okay. Okay. And then, is there a way to obtain a copy?
Sure, the acting city clerk over there can get it for us.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
What color?
Blue? I guess the city clerk down in will have to sign it. Oh, the blue one? Here. I trade you. Oh, okay. So go ahead and do it on blue.
Elena, they've signed the copies if you want to pick a copy that's signed right there.
Okay, here we go.
Take a photo with you,
Oh,
and
definitely,
we can
sure.
post it on social media.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Put it on Facebook.
Dr. Varona was there.
No, that's okay, man.
You should.
No.
You should. Come on.
I'm not too much for that.
If I give you something ASU, would you come and take a picture?
There's Selena.
If I give you something ASU as a wildcat, I'm going to give you.
Former mayor.
Go ahead.
You left me speechless.
You're going to lose my support if you do that.
Thank you so much for helping us.
Absolutely. Thank you for your partnership.
I'm glad you finally come into your senses.
Again, Selena? Thank you.
Let us know what we can help.
Will you listen to our conversation? Yay. Good job, Marcy.
Okay, going right along.
Education.
Going to discussion item 5, number 2, Nogales Little League presentation by Ricardo Maitorena.
Bring the rest of them, Mr. Maitorena, in the back with you so he can help you in the presentation. Mayor, I have the same problem with Dr. Varona. When I run the school board meetings, he likes to take over. He thinks he runs the meeting.
Mayor and Councilman, thank you very much for this opportunity to come and talk to you tonight. The Nogales Baseball Boosters would like to do some upgrades to Nogales War Memorial Park. Well, out of respect, what we don't want to do is, what we want to do is not put the horse in front of the cart, the cart in front of the horse. We want to make sure that we're going to be doing some fundraisers. We wanted to let not only Parks and Rec, Mr. Bachelier and David Ropesa and his staff about what we were planning to do. We want to ask also the councilman and city council for permission. We will be doing some fundraisers. What we don't want is when we start doing the fundraisers and say, oh, this is what we're going to do, X, Y, Z, and then at some party, Marcel or Mr. Maldonado are told, oh, I hear they're going to do this at the park. Wait a minute. This is the first I hear about it. So we want to tell you what our plans are before we go forward. Okay? Obviously, War Memorial Park is the history of Nogales. Could you do the Okay. So what I want to go over is some of the upgrades that we're trying to do. Now, we're not here to ask the city for money. We will take it. But we are doing our own fundraising. Right now, we're figuring at about $24,000 for everything. And we're already about 75% there. Okay. The first thing we want to do is the batting cage. If you've been to War Memorial Park in the last few years, you know that it needs some upgrades. Okay. The net is actually a safety hazard now because there's a couple of holes in them. So it's a 55-foot by 15-foot wide net. We've also want to replace the artificial turf. In the long run, this is actually going to save all the different teams some money because the foam that they have now, the turf, is really thin. So we're going to get a nice thick turf so the balls actually last longer. This one's actually really special to us. A lot of people in this room. Nogales High School has won 10 Arizona State Championships. Okay, as you can see. And we got this idea, I got the idea, and some of our members talked about it because when we were playing at this 2017 championship in Tucson at High Corbett, I saw my son talking with his best friend Marcel Bachelier, and they were both bragging about how their grandfather's names were on a plaque at the stadium. And it came to mind and said, like, what's going to happen in the future? Or I remember, being a bad boy when Mr. Hanesian used to have a baseball team. And I remember having to, help my mom sell concessions when Marcy decided to bring the World Series down here. And, George, coached him, so he's younger than me. And, playing intramurals with Mr. Lucero at the U of A, because he's from another school.
A lot of state championships.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, we said, what if we have, there's a lot of plaques, a memorial plaque, that would actually have the names of the players. Okay? So we were thinking about doing something along these lines. This is just a rough draft from last year's roster, and we would put some baseball bats or baseballs on top. So once again, we went and talked to David, talked to Marcel, and Marcel brought us a great point. At the end of the day, it is War Memorial Park. So we did contact the VFW, and out of respect also to them, because if we do these plaques, there's 10 of them, okay? And it's something that we're going to actually bolt, or whatever you want to call it, onto a wall. The idea that we have is the walkway, where everybody walks in through the main gate. The walkway, make that the Wall of Champions, and put 10 of these for every single year. We have Mr. Ramirez and going to the library, and what we don't want to do is we don't want to leave anybody out. We want to make sure that the team from 71, every name is on there, okay? And then the tradition, or a lot of times, they'll bring up somebody from the JV just for the championship game. We want to make sure they're included on there. So it's going to be a community thing of putting it out in the paper. Hey, if you played on one of these teams, please contact us. We don't want to miss anybody there, okay? We want somebody to go in and say, hey, you know what, there's my grandfather, there's my uncle, they played on this team, and now I'm playing on this field, because it's part of Nogales. We don't want to just do 2017, we want to do them all, okay? So like I said, it would be 10 of them, okay? The next thing is, right now, the dugouts are tough, But most of the bats lay along the floor, the helmets also. So we want to build one of these on the home dugout. At first, I thought about doing the home and the visitors, but Mr. Ramirez says no. Visitors can put them on the ground. home gets the little compartments. So that would be another thing that we want to do. The third thing is, in the outfield, right now there's a green mesh, but we went to a couple of games last year in Phoenix, and some really nice schools have these type of mesh outfields. I used Iowa State because of the colors. I just couldn't get myself to put Arizona State up there, but I tried, I really did. So it would say Nogales Apaches or Nogales Baseball. We haven't decided what, but it would be with a black background and then the maroon and gold. Okay. We've done in the past. We've done banners which are white with different colors. To the right, to the left of that, we would put state titles, and once again, all the years would be there. And then an idea just came to us the last couple of days. On the right-hand side, put the runners up, which, according to some of our historians, there's 4 of them. Okay, so that would be going on the right, and then we would put all the rest of the sponsors in the same colors. Okay, that we have. Now, obviously, this is the city's park. Okay, it's not the high school's park. We understand that. So after the season, it would go down, and we would put the building went back up. Okay. The halo. Put Nogales right around the halo. This would actually help out with the wear and tear of that area because it's so hard to keep up. And I think it's a great opportunity to bring up. Obviously, you know that we do a lot of work with Little League in the past, obviously with George and a lot of people in this room. And Nogales everybody loves to come and play Nogales. They call it the Field of Dreams. It may be an old field, but City Parks and Recs, as everybody knows, does a great job. So, I want to make sure that Marcel understands how much we appreciate him and his staff for what they do, and they help us out so much. So, this would be it would be 10 feet from end to end, as far as width is concerned, but it would go all the way around home plate. Okay. And once again, it would say Nogales, because this one would stay the whole year. It doesn't come off. So we don't want to put Apaches because obviously it is the city field. Okay. Now let me go back up just a second. Here, these are the things that we want to do this year. Okay. The cage, the plaques, the batting helmet cases, and the banners. Okay. This one, the one thing that we have to work with City Parks and Rec is because if you see the ends, kind of where those 2 gentlemen are sitting on each side, there's sprinklers presently there. So that's going to take a little more work. So it may not be something that we do this year. We may order it this year, but not be able to put it until after this season. Okay. But this will be a quote-unquote wish list, but it is something definitely that we want to do. Okay. The next one would be the bullpens. Okay. On each side, some of these members that we have gone to, some of these nice fields and actually put some bullpens as such on each field, on each side of the field, so we could the players could actually come and sit there. The pitchers could sit there while they're warming up and stay there during the game, or actually go back to the dugout. Okay. And once again, the main reason for us being here tonight is this is a wish list that we want to do. We want to make sure to keep you in the loop, keep the Parks and Rec in the loop, and what we're trying to do is just make upgrades to the park, and hopefully get your blessing that we never even thought about the BFW until we went to see Marcel, and that's why we're here, just to make sure that everything that we have to look at before we undertake these projects is taken into consideration.
Good job.
Thank you, Rick.
Excellent, excellent. The only thing I was gonna ask, are you gonna leave enough space for the next championship team that are gonna be inspired by those flags?
You know what? I hope so. I just hope that the way, I'll leave that up to David. David's a man. I mean, once we tell him what we're going to do, I'll give you an example. This cage, I mean, if you want tomatoes, you're going to call me, but for a cage, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So I called David. I said, David, tell me what do I do? Okay, because that's what you guys work with. Okay, and so he helps us spec it out. The same thing with the plaques. When we do put them against the wall, you know, I'm sure he's going to think of, okay, hopefully there's going to be more. Okay, but yes, we want to leave room, hopefully, and it'll be a good.
And just to clarify who David is, David Oropesa is one of the leading persons there and the recreation under Marcelo Bachiller that played professionally professional baseball with the National League. So he does a great job when it comes to baseball and fields and maintenance. And, he knows the stuff.
Both Marcel and David take a lot of pride in what they do. You can see, and they've been very helpful with us. They've always made time to, and they let us know when we're crazy when they said no. They've told us no, but for the most part, I think at 99%, they've always been very, very helpful with us, and bringing the regionals down here, all the state titles that these kids have won, regional titles and district titles in Little League, couldn't be done without that support, of course.
Well, thank you so much for that. That's great. That's great what you guys are doing. I think it's going to inspire the future youth that's playing ball right now at the Little League level and on up. And hopefully, in the next few years, we'll have another state title.
Hopefully.
I believe this. Thanks, you. Mayor?
Yes, Councilman.
I would just suggest, you talk about Nogales baseball here and the plaques. And there's an intergovernmental agreement between the city of Nogales and Nogales Unified School District. The high school teams that you are talking about belong to the Nogales Unified School District. So I would make a presentation over there to the school board and with the superintendent Parra is there, because we can contribute to things like this, because we have an agreement with the city of Nogales Unified School District, where we can legally, financially put in money into activities that benefit our students.
Perfect.
So I would go over there also, though, too, to see if they can help out on this venture.
Monday at 4, Ricky. Monday at 4, they have a meeting.
He's always really good at spending the school district's money.
You know anybody from there?
He's always spending it. He doesn't want to look at raising taxes, but he likes to spend money.
There you go. Now, is there any other questions?
I just want to thank Ricky and everybody, Eddie, Mr. Ramirez, the whole Nogales boosters, and everybody. I know you guys do a hard job, collecting money and all that, doing basically fundraisers, and it's all for the kids, and it goes along with what you guys help out in Little League, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
No, thank you. Okay, so that was a nice presentation. Going on to discussion and possible action number 3. Directing staff. Are you ready, Councilman? I think this one's yours.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was over there we had gone over there, the mayor and I had gone over to just look at some of the concerns at the building. Oh, okay.
Let me finish reading. I kind of cut it in just so you know that. Go ahead. Let me go ahead and just finish it up. And it's to locate an appropriate location and installation for public display of the 1960 City of Nogales municipal swimming pool, and it was a dedication plaque that was there, I guess, and got moved when the pool was shut down, and then they put the skateboard park there. So, Dr. Barona, go ahead and
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. When we were over there at the Public Works Department, I had noticed in the inventory room that this plaque was there. And we're talking about plaques that have, do you have a thing to put on this show? That this plaque was there, just stored away there, rusting away. And I thought, you know, we don't want to lose what previous mayors and consuls have done in the past, and I thank Mr. Kissinger for getting it cleaned up and everything, but I just wanted to bring it in front of the council because these things we shouldn't just put away. You know, that's part of our history in the community. And the swimming pool isn't there, but just as an idea to have the city build a little monument there and put that plaque there so that they know that one time there was a pool there. These are the people who were a mayor and council. They're all deceased now. But let's not forget our past and everything. That's why we make these plaques and that. So I just wanted to present it to the council to authorize them to, unless somebody has another suggestion, to have the acting city manager have a foundation made for it where the old municipal pool was located. I think there's a skate park there now, and place it there for people to go by and say, hey, you know, one time this was a pool, and this was the mayor, and these are the people who had the foresight to build that pool there, because I swam in that pool. I was a kid, we used to go there, all the gang used to go there to swim, because that was the only pool that we had in Nogales for us to go swimming in.
Okay.
So,
do we have a motion to approve so we can go to more discussion?
So
I
moved.
just wanted to.
Motion to approve, Mayor?
I'll second that.
Open for discussion. Councilman Lucero.
Thank you, Mayor. Last time I was at the baseball field with Dr. Varona, we were already getting approached by people that were there watching baseball games, suggesting that they needed more additional fields, and we're looking at the skate park, and I guess we're giving us a difficult time at why it was severely underutilized, the new skate park, and they already had plans for building other baseball fields out there, and so if we put something out there, I'm just concerned that we may end up replacing that with a ball field in the future. And I was thinking maybe a more appropriate location would be maybe at City Hall with maybe some old photograph depicting the pool, just a short history of below it with the plaque, so it would probably get seen a lot more here at City Hall than at its old location.
I don't have any problem, Mr. Lucero. I just don't want it to be stored someplace, because this is historical, and we should do everything we can when it relates to city facilities to preserve
I concur.
Historical assets.
Yes,
Yeah,
Councilman.
Mr. Mayor, if we're gonna put it somewhere else, maybe we can get a picture and that we can have it next to the plaque so that people know exactly what it's about. Because I mean, 99% of the people in Nogales would look at that and have no idea what we're talking about.
Short write-up kind of
Maybe
describes.
Councilman Baroma could be next to the picture.
That when he was a lifeguard there?
But yeah, we would definitely need some pictures. It'd be nice if somebody had an old picture when Hot Bachiller was the swimming instructor there.
Well, I'm sure they have pictures of it.
Hop and Luis.
Hop and Luis.
I used to work there every
What
summer.
about, what about by the new pool?
Well, the new pool is kind of out of sight, no?
Yeah,
you
that
mean,
one.
I mean, it's I guess it does have some, but
There's a grass area around.
but it could be done also. It all depends.
Whatever the council wants to do, I just want to see the plaque put someplace so that people recognize that Mayor Rockland and these council people took it upon to make sure that there was a pool available for all of these years for all of the kids to go swimming.
We still need the pictures, because otherwise they're going to think the pool was there or something.
Yeah, well, we can get pictures, get the Nogales International to look for pictures for us. They probably have a lot of pictures over there.
Somebody should go look for him that has a lot of free time, that's retired.
I don't know anybody by that category. So what was your motion? I didn't understand. You said so move. What did you move?
Whatever you have on the agenda, what'd you have on the agenda?
Well, yeah, but it didn't say a location.
That's what we were discussing really, where to place it. I think everybody pretty much, you know, that we need to kind of preserve our history.
Yes.
It's just a matter of where. Where's the best location that we can give direction to staff? Yes,
I agree with Councilman Lucero as far as doing it, putting it here at City Hall.
City Hall.
Probably here by the water fountain.
Yeah.
There's water right there. That would be.
And then we would enclose the pictures and glass casing or something.
That would be nice.
Okay, all right. Well,
that was my motion.
Should we let staff bring us some suggestions? Maybe where
we'll just leave it up to the staff to go ahead
and just put it, you know,
put it here.
Or just leave it to them to put it in the best place.
There, yeah.
Where it's highly visible and it's not going to cause a problem.
Put it somewhere where we can complain about it later.
Okay. So, so we'll call the question. I guess there's been enough discussion. All those in favor of approving this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No, seeing no nays. Motion carried. Thank you. Approved.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to thank Mr. Kissinger for all the work you put into that and getting that done. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it looks very new.
Yeah.
When you said rusty and everything, I was trying to find the.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, we'll go to the next one now. We have number 4, city charter review, scheduling multiple study sessions, timeline May 1st, 2017. Dr. Frank Pettis, would you like to?
Mayor and Council, before you are packets of the city charter for your review, and what I'd like to ask is that you identify some dates that you'd like to meet, possibly 4 or 5, I would think, over the next few months. The deadline for submittal for any charter reviews would be May 1 before the election. So your availability is real critical. That would be for the primary election, August.
Is it the primary or the general?
Primary.
Well, you could do it on both.
Either or.
You could do it the second Tuesday of March, third Tuesday in May, the primary election or the general election. Those are the 4 dates that
are available
for elections.
And if we do it in November, when we have the governor's race and everybody, more people going, is May 1st still the deadline?
No. No. Whatever you do, to get it on for whatever date you choose, figure about 90 days prior to that, everything has to be final. Because you have to send out notices, it has to be published, and so on. So figure 90 days before that to be safe.
Well, May or June would still be okay then for the general election. I would suggest just the general election because you'll have more people going to vote at that time.
So what is the voting on? It says city charter review.
If there's any
Scheduling
changes.
If there's
multiple
any changes
studies.
we agree on.
Any changes that we would agree upon.
Right. If there's any changes that we would agree upon.
The voters have to approve.
Right. But maybe we could, Mr. Mayor, when we have our monthly meetings, just start at, like we did today, at 4:30. We'll just talk about if there's any charter until we've exhausted the issue. We'll just meet at 4:30 and we don't have to come in at another special date. We'll just start right then. Okay. See what, if anybody has any ideas, then the staff can go ahead and research it. Come up with a legal wording. To make sure everything's constitutional.
Okay.
He must have a lot of time on his hands. Just like that, they have meetings all the time.
Okay, so so we can start laying the roadwork or foundation for that.
Yeah.
And pretty much that's what you wanted to achieve.
Right.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
So we'll continue with more meetings on this. Okay. So it's so any other questions?
Just a question, Dr. Felix. I mean, is there Is there any ideas what would be coming up?
Well, just the suggestions that the council has put forth in
I have
terms of
some
what they'd
ideas.
like to change. But, and then there'll be some, legal has indicated there'll be some corrections that need to be done and be brought up to speed.
Correct.
So we'll have those done first, and then you can review them, and then any other recommendations you have, want to consider, then we'll run it by council.
Mayor, just as a suggestion, maybe as we could maybe limit the items to be discussed at each study session, so we don't have to go from start to finish. We can maybe say, you know, the chapters 1, 2, 3 for the first study session, and then we can be prepared to discuss those items, something like that.
We'll present the cleanup language that council has recommended, and then we can proceed from there.
Perfect.
Okay. Anyone else?
So then the idea is to have the target for the general?
Yes. That's
By May 1st.
But if we target May,
If there are any changes,
sometime.
right?
If there are any changes.
Mm-hmm.
If we agree to any changes here first to present.
Are we done with this issue, Dr.
Just,
Lozano?
just,
Go ahead,
Mr. Machado, to get a charter change on the general election, is it 4 votes, 5 votes, or what would be the criteria of the mayor and council?
It would be the majority, the council would vote to
So
put
4 votes would basically.
whatever changes for voter consideration.
Yes, Councilman Lucero?
Mayor, the only thing I would ask staff is go back and check with the companies that do the ballot printing, because they usually control the timeline on when they need to have information. Because we ran into, I know with the school district when we were looking at trying to get the JTED on the ballot, we missed the cutoff to get information to them. So.
Okay. Point well taken. I guess we need to make sure we're on top of that.
Right.
So I guess as we go along, we'll place it on the agenda. Good. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, and we'll go to number 5. And I guess we had that already, so we're just gonna. We had the presentation of the changing plan on the study session. We put it here just in case if we didn't have time on the study session to cover it, so we're just gonna go ahead, and all we have to do is just avoid it, I guess, right? Just line it out. Or legal?
Right, no, you just move to the next item.
Move to the next item. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the next item, because we already took care of that on the previous meeting. Going to number 6, discussion and possible action. We're here in December, vice mayor appointment. So, you know, I placed it there for discussion and see how the council feels about going with a new vice mayor.
Mayor, I don't want to be the vice mayor.
Okay, so discussion possible action, all right. So do we have a motion to approve
Mr. Mayor?
the change?
Just as a question, is the idea to be changing the vice mayor every 6 months, or is that going to be the?
No, there's no
Just-
set.
Just whenever?
You know, whenever we decide.
Okay, just on the, I think, you know, Mr. Diaz Councilman Diaz is doing a tremendous job, right?
Well, I don't know, you know, it's a matter of when, you know, that's your opinion.
Sure.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and open it up for discussion. And so do we have a motion to approve discussion possible action on vice mayor appointment? Do we have a motion to approve?
I don't think you need a motion to discuss it. You can discuss it
No,
without a
this
motion.
is discussion and possible action.
I know, but you don't need a motion to discuss.
Okay, no.
You can
Okay,
discuss
well, you
before
want to
you-
start discussion then, okay. Go ahead and bring out the discussion. Anybody have any comments? You're saying that.
Well, I already said, yeah.
You said that, okay. Well, the reason I place it on there is because I didn't appreciate President Vice Mayor Diaz on his comments that he made, quote, on the Nogales International. I may not have a PhD or master's degree or anything like that. Now, my master's degree was the hard knocks of life, and my PhD was in the battlefields of Iraq. Now, the only one that has a PhD on this council is Dr. Varona. So, what bothers me as a vice mayor, knocking down. Well, we're trying to build education here. We're partnering up to make future education easier for our kids. Comments like this, that a degree is not that important because being in a battlefield is your PhD. To me, doesn't add up, especially when you're knocking on two fronts. You're knocking education down, and then you're knocking a World War II veteran's sacrifice for his son to attain and achieve what he has done. You know, that's you know, to me, you're being very disrespectful. You're knocking down the you know, the kids read this and they think, oh, well, a PhD or master's degree or anything like that is not important in their future. Come on,
Mayor, if I may.
Sure, you
I
may.
I didn't mean no disrespect or anything like that.
But you did.
But when you're in a battlefield, that is where you really are fighting for your life.
Well, wait a minute. You were in Iraq, and that was more of a mop-up situation.
No, it was not.
You know, you guys were a support team. You weren't the infantry. You weren't the Marines.
Bring you proof.
You know, so that's the thing.
We're not discussing.
But we're discussing education here.
We're discussing education, but you learn how to be a survivor. When you learn how to survive, that's an education within itself. I went to a lot of Army schools, quite a few, and right there they teach you all kinds of things, what you need to survive in the real world.
But they teach you respect and protocol.
And I'm doing it with all respect, and I respect all veterans, and you know that I respect everybody here. I respect past.
It's very easy
future,
to say now, but
present,
it's what you said here.
Well, that's how I feel. This is a free country. I was expressing my First Amendment right.
Okay, well that's what I mean. You did, and you're entitled to that.
I'm entitled to that.
Well, to me, it shows it shows a lack of irresponsibility and maturity to say something like that.
If I'd be irresponsible, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I don't think I'm irresponsible.
Well,
but you know,
that issue,
the way you feel, that's fine.
You know, okay, so that's the reason that I placed it now, because we can't afford to have somebody make comments like that. You know, we have four people here that have
and I respect everybody.
That have worked hard for their education.
I encourage my kids to go to school. I'm encouraging to go to school to get an education, to get a university degree.
But you can't be. It's just like that thing that we just read in the International about what's going on at the PD. They bring in the mascot, and look at how they destroy the image of the DARE program, because they bring in the mascot and something that wasn't proper. You know, and you gotta be careful with what you say, your actions. You have, you know, who is accountable for that?
Well, look, I'm proud to be a veteran, and that's how I feel.
Fine,
that's how I feel.
And so was our World War II veteran, Mr. Varona Senior was a World War II veteran. He was proud, and he worked for the American dream, and he made sacrifices so his son could achieve what he has achieved. Well, and that's very disrespectful, because you're in a position with the organizations that you are to defend the sons and daughters of veterans.
And that's what I'm doing.
Well, no, you're attacking here. Your attitude was, you were raising your color and tooting your own horn. That's what you were doing.
No, that's the way you're taking it. I meant it with all respect and everything.
And that's what we need somebody more responsible as a vice mayor, and that's the way I see it.
Mr. Mayor, maybe Mr. Varona can shed some light. How did he take? Did you feel that you were being done, you know, looked down upon or something? Or?
Well, I understand what the mayor's saying, but first of all, I want to clear up one thing publicly. My doctorate is in education. It's not a PhD. I have a doctorate in education. So I want to clear that up. I don't want anybody to think. The mayor brought this to as surface is. I don't want to create disharmony among us. I respect the mayor. I respect the vice mayor. I don't want to be put in a position of creating this harmony, because that I never brought this up or anything, but I just want us to thank the mayor very much for especially all the help that he got way back to VFW to get my father into the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame. But for the first time, I just feel uncomfortable in the situation of getting caught here. So I'll respect whatever decision the council makes. I'm grateful to that, but I want us to work together and get along and move this, like I've said, move the city forward. That's what I want.
And let me add to that, all veterans have a PhD in survival. All veterans, not just me, but all veterans. Everybody.
All right. So, do we have a motion? We had discussed it now. I would like to make a motion, and I'm hoping Vice Mayor Rojas is up to the challenge. Last time you were open to be vice mayor. I'd like to, if you still can do it, if you have the time, I'd like to appoint and vote on Mr. Rojas as the new vice mayor.
Second.
Yes. Well, we're open for discussion.
No, I'd like to make a motion for Mr. Maldonado.
Well, we already made the motion.
It's nominations, isn't it, Mr. Machado?
Pardon me?
I think the last time we did this, you said there were nominations first.
Well, you could do it either way. They're doing it by motions. The last time what I did is said that if somebody else has another name,
right,
then they would have to amend the motion that's on the floor, and then you vote on that amendment.
I thought we voted in the first one, and then we voted again on the second one. The last time. In other words,
it all depends. If there's only one motion on the floor, then you vote on that motion. But if there's a motion to amend, like there was last time, then you vote on the amendment, and then if whatever the vote is on that, then you go to the main motion.
I think you're kind of making things a little more confusing here. I think we need to go first. If I think the last time we voted on Mr. Rojas, he didn't get it on the first round, and then we nominated somebody else and voted on it, and that was when Mr. Diaz came in. That was the way we did it last time.
I think that
You can do it that way.
I think that was that was a simpler way of doing it. So right now the motion and
unless there's an amendment, I would like to amend that motion to go ahead and
well, then let's vote on the amendment.
Well, that's the way it goes, yeah.
So,
well, there has to be a second to whatever your motion to amend, you state it, and if there's a second, then you vote on that.
Second to the amendment.
Okay, and my amendment, I would like to nominate Jorge Maldonado to the deal, simply on the point that you have to have time for it, and I think that's the main thing for vice mayor is having the time, which I think Mr. Diaz or Councilman Diaz has the time to be able to dedicate to being vice mayor, right? I know that in other situations they may not, especially if you have a job during the day and whatever. It's very tough. Be very, very tough for me to say I would like to be. I know Dr. Verona would be very tough for him to say that he would like to take over, like Mr. Lucero said. Don't bring me into this because it's just added. It's added job. That's what it is, right?
No, Mr. Lucero hasn't been nominated.
So let's vote on, like I says, on the amendment. I'd like to nominate Mr. Jorge Maldonado to be vice mayor.
I got a question for council. Mr. Mr. Diaz has done a great job. Do we have to relieve him of his position before we have to vote for a new one?
No, with a vote, you'll be voted.
If the vote passes, either one vote passes, that'll serve to replace Mr. Diaz.
Or there can be another amendment to leave Mr. Diaz on there.
You know, okay. Look, you know.
I understand, but it's
Okay, okay. You know, yeah, you guys are always trying to complicate everything, and it's usually you three. You know, so you know that's fine. We'll go ahead and do it. I'm throwing it out there. You know, whoever you guys want, that's fine. But I believe that Mr. Roca has an education. He has a degree, and he's now at the point in his career where he has the time to serve more for the city of Nogales. So that's why I think he would, at this time, he would make a great vice mayor too. So what? So where are we at now with all this complicating instead of just voting? You know? And then if he's not selected, then we can go with another nomination.
The way, what's everyone done here, there's a motion to amend to amend for, to have Mr. Maldonado on there. It was seconded, so you have to vote on that.
We have to vote on the amendment.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so we'll call to the question for the amendment. Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. I vote nay to amend it. Go ahead, call Mr. Maldonado. We're doing a roll call.
Aye.
Nay.
Mr. Lucero? Mr. Rojas?
Nay.
Mr. Varona? Dr. Varona?
Just to explain my vote, Mayor, is that I just think at this time there is, both candidates are qualified. I just think that Mr. Rojas has that experience of being on the council before, and he's indicated he has some time. I think that when we take this subject up again, I think Mr. Maldonado would be extremely qualified and have enough experience at that time.
What's your vote?
No.
Aye.
Okay, so it's 4-3. Nays have it. Motion carried against the amendment. Now we go to the vote of the nomination of Mr. Rojas, which is also not only previously served in the city council, but also as a board of supervisors in the county of Santa Cruz. So he has a lot of experience. We'll start the vote, and this is to vote aye to approve Mr. Rojas as the next vice mayor, and I vote aye. Roll call vote. I vote aye.
Mr. Maldonado?
Nay.
Aye.
Mr. Lucero? Mr. Rojas?
Aye.
Dr. Varona?
Aye.
Mr. Genesio?
Nay.
Mr. Diaz?
Okay, 4-3, the ayes have it. We have a new vice mayor. Congratulations, Mr. Rojas, and we look forward on you serving us as the new vice mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Now, we go to orders. Number 1, consideration and possible action of order 2017-12-068, in order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, approving and adopting the amended PH annual plan for fiscal year end 2017, Nogales Housing Authority. Do you have anything to say today, Mr. Director Martinez?
Good evening. You approved a PHA plan back in March, and because we've made some changes during the year, one of them being adopting the smoke-free policy, revised policy manuals that we updated with HUD-mandated directives, and also we came up with a new lease that is now compliant with HUD. We were using an older version of a lease that was created back in late 90s, early 2000s, so we had to update our lease.
When was it? What year? I didn't quite get the year.
It was in the early 2000s when this lease agreement was actually created, and had, to our knowledge, it hadn't been updated since. So we actually purchased a lease agreement model through a national company. It's called Nan McKay that sold us a version of a lease that is now updated with HUD mandated leases. HUD mandated policies, and we also tailored it to our needs here at Nogales Housing Authority. So we made those 3 changes. So therefore, we have to go back and amend the PHA plan that you approved back in March. So that's the reason that item is in front of you tonight.
I guess, you know, because of those changes and whatnot, I don't think the council's really up to date on a lot of the changes that have been made to line up with HUD. And it's something that we're going to need in the near future more information on. So I don't know if anybody in the council has been able to make the time to go and have you spoken to any of the councilmen and given us individual information? Or?
No, when Dr. Varona took office, he visited our office and he got some information back then, and just about every time.
But that's been outdated since then.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So I would like to ask the city manager in the future that you would bring us up to date on these changes. I don't know if the council feels comfortable on voting on something that we're not really. Yes, go ahead, Dr. Varona.
I did call Mr. Martinez today to have me give a brief background. I am in favor of the overall concept of it, but as I was reading through it, this afternoon, I was concerned with something here. I don't understand how this happened. It didn't happen while you have been here, but there's a notice here where it says failure to meet obligation end date. And that's what's that? Oh, and I'm concerned because here it says that we haven't spent the money the way we're supposed to, and now we have jeopardized $146,000 and another $41,000 in capital funds, and they've put us on notice that if we don't expend it by a certain date, we've lost all the funds. So they're giving us now another opportunity to do that after we failed to do it in the first place. Now I know that this happened in 2014 and 2015, but how do these things happen when we have a city manager form of government? That's what I don't understand. And I understand it's getting corrected. What I don't understand is how these things get away from us like this. So fill us in.
I can answer on our former, I guess, city manager. He never took the initiative and he never answered the calls. I started getting calls about the miscommunication that was going on between HUD and our city manager. So apparently they had you going left and right. So, you know, it's like you say, that's so important to have a good city manager that gets on the ball, that gets on top of things and follows through. And right now we're doing good with Dr. Felix just came in and he's already kind of neutralized a lot of the poison that was starting to build up over there with the state and federal housing and urban development. So we're getting back in grace with them, and that's very important because they cannot be so cooperative and we can lose funding. So, but thank you for researching that, taking the interest and looking into it.
Well, I've done it, but Mayor, what I read, I don't see anything out of line or anything like that.
No, it's just a matter of lining up and cooperating.
And to answer Councilman Barona's question, I can't speak to what happened prior to April 2016 when I came on board, But what I can tell you is that we're working really hard to spend that money. Spending money is not an issue for me. We are working on infrastructure projects. We're paving a lot of parking lots and a lot of streets on Las Americas, which is right in front of middle school. What is the name of it? Escapes me. Wade Carpenter, thank you.
If you have Dr.
We're working on
Barona there,
roofing
he'll help you
projects.
spend the money. He's really good at spending money.
And how about that recreation department that you have right there by your office? Is that being
Right. So
taken care of?
we changed the light situation in that gym. That it was a very poor lighting situation. The bulbs were getting broken all the time. So we replaced that with LED lighting, high efficiency, low consumption energy. We got a rebate back from Unisource because we changed to that type of lighting, and we're putting that money back into the gym. The floor hasn't been cleaned. The actual gym floor hasn't been cleaned for years, so it needs treatment. Otherwise, we'll have to replace it at some point.
No, the maintenance is very important.
Correct. So we are spending the money now. In the January meeting, you'll have some contracts in front of you that we've already done the procurement for. It is a couple of other roofing projects in Monte Carlo, and then a big paving project in Las Americas. So the money's being spent. Like I said, I can't speak to what happened before that.
No,
So.
but there was, we gave you a little direction in the past about the weight equipment being operable.
Correct.
Is it good?
We removed the equipment that is non-working for safety reasons. We are able to put money back in that gym with new equipment, but we're trying to gather some interest from the community members, mainly our residents, to volunteer some of their time in the morning to man that place, because we don't have the money to pay for somebody to take care of the building or the gym.
Well,
Mr. Mayor?
Well, yes, go ahead, Vice Mayor.
But Alex, you know, and we've talked about this before. You know, maybe once you set up the gym and with the equipment, with the new equipment, with some motivation, I know that there's people that want to use that gym.
Of course.
They don't want to use it right now
Right.
under the present condition, and we've talked about that.
Right.
You know, you start moving on that, start getting that equipment in there, you know, put some music in there, and you're going to have a ton of people trying to go to that place, take care of that place, and get in shape.
And that is a very good point. As a matter of fact, our wellness committee member who works in the fire department helped us out with he also owns one of the local gyms. He brought a company out of Tucson to look at our equipment to see what equipment can actually be repaired and what equipment needs to be replaced. That happened last month. They actually came down, and so they're coming back with a proposal to us to move forward with the new equipment, and we will do that. We're just trying to make sure that we're not back in this spot in 6 or 12 months where the place is not being completely watched over and the equipment is being misused. But yes, we're moving forward with that. As a matter of fact, like I said, we're working with that company out of Tucson to see if we can salvage some of that equipment.
And what about the computers for the kids?
Yeah.
That it's a similar situation. I did reach out to the Nogales Unified School District, and unfortunately there was not too much traction there to see if there was perhaps some of the senior project members that could come in and tutor some of our kids in the evenings.
We have computers there.
Yes, we have computers that need to be replaced.
The computers are just not working?
We suffered theft about a year ago, so we lost 5 computers out of the 10. They broke into the gym and stole them. We have 5. They're about 6, 7 years old. Right, so we'll need to replace those.
Do you have better security now?
I'm sorry?
Do you have better security?
Of course, yes.
Yes, go ahead,
Yeah,
Councilman.
but I mean, is there anybody there is living there that would be able to go ahead and work to be there just to be watching? Because I mean, it's an awful situation when this has happened 7 years ago when they put in those computers. The kids there had no computers. They were going to the library, but the library would close at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whatever it was, and then these kids had homework, had something, no computers at home.
Correct.
And that's when they brought in those computers in there.
That's correct.
But again, it's very, very tough to be a student living in that, in the homes there and no computers.
Correct.
Right? So I mean, above all, I think that should be a big priority for having something like that for the kids to go ahead and use it. I'm sure that Dr. Verona would agree. I mean, they need to have a computer. How are they going to do their homework with no computer?
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, we're trying to partner with our own residents. That hasn't been successful. Perhaps the approach that Vice Mayor Rojas offered, that, you know, set the equipment up, whether it's gym or computers, and let them take the initiative. And if not, we can close the place until we have some commitment from some people that can man for certain hours of the day. Because
that's what they did originally. They had someone that was living there, and they gave him a part-time job or whatever it was, and he would be there just watching that the kids were actually doing homework, you know, not doing anything else or whatever, right? So and it worked out, I think, for a year or two, and then I don't know what happened after that.
Correct. Our residents are supposed to pay back community hours and pay back volunteer hours. So we've approached them that way to see if they want to pay back some of the hours by volunteering to be at that place.
The problem is the school year is going on, right? And all those kids that didn't have a computer, and before, like I said, they would go to the library, but that's quite a Abraham Lincoln story, right? Going to the library.
Like I said, we can certainly entertain what Vice Mayor Rojas suggested, that we become a little bit more proactive in pushing the equipment part of it, and then trying to find a solution to bring the human aspect of it.
Yeah, once people start seeing the condition, then they're going to be motivated. You know that there's people going there.
Right.
There's some people that would want to do it, and I guarantee you, once it's set up, they'll want to be there.
Noted.
I mean, it's like a free gym with good equipment. Right now, they don't have that, but they will. I'll even volunteer.
Mr. Mayor.
I have the time.
Mr. Mayor, motion to approve 2017-12-068 as presented.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
No.
Seeing none, motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, just a comment to the acting city manager. On all of these, you didn't put a sheet there with a background and a recommendation, and that should be on every item of the agenda that you submit to us. There should be a background and a recommendation, and that would have helped us right now. But I want you to know that I do agree with Mr. Genesian on the computers.
Okay, thank you very much. Going to number 2 of orders, consideration and possible action of order 2017-12-069, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, approving the new members of the Family Self-Sufficiency Program Coordinating Committee for the Nogales Housing Authority.
So moved, Mr. Mayor, to approve order number 217-12-069.
Second.
Second. Okay. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Mr. Machado. Mr. Machado, now that we are naming this committee, do they fall under the open meeting law?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so they're aware of, okay. All right, that's all, everything else is.
Any more comments or discussion?
Call for the question.
All right. Okay, so all those in favor of approving this order signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Seeing none, motion carried unanimously. Number 3, consideration and possible action of order 2017-12-070, an order of the City Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, approving an employment services agreement with Dr. Frank Felix.
Motion to approve order 2017-12-070.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? No nays? Motion carried unanimously. 4, consideration and possible action of Order 2017-12-071, in order of the Council of the City of Nogales approving a lease agreement between the City of Nogales and Child Parent Center Incorporation and Arizona Corporation Head Start.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, second. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Okay, George had his.
Okay, that's fine.
Just-
Councilman.
I mentioned on number 4, the written digit and the amount is different on the agreement. Says $7,900 and the written says $9,720.
On the agreement itself.
So I'd like to amend to correct on its page 107.
Councilman, that's on the housing one. This is the Head Start.
That's the Head
That was on Alejandro's.
Oh, okay.
A little mix up there.
No, it's on the lease.
It's
It's on the lease.
for the housing.
Huh? No, but Mr. Maldonado is correct, because I was going to bring that up. It says here the lease agreement to pay the city has rent an annual sum of $7,900, but then in parentheses it says $9,000.
It's 9.
9,600.
So something. So
It's 9,000.
No.
okay.
It's just
So
a typo. So we'll check it, we'll change it on the final.
So
But it's 9,000.
so for this motion,
if you do the 660,
it equals the
7,920.
But what is 660 times 12?
7,920.
7,000.
Okay, that is the correct amount, 7,000.
Okay.
7,920.
So the amount in parentheses needs to be corrected only.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, with that understanding, Mr. Mayor, because I had the same concern, we've gotten clear, the city attorney has brought clarity to the question, so we're ready to vote.
Okay. All those in favor of approving this order signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? None? Motion carried unanimously. Number 5, consideration and possible action of Order 2017-12-072, in order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, authorizing a contingency transfer to the Parks Project and City Hall paving project of up to $84,500 to improve City Hall and Karen Park.
So moved, Mayor.
Okay, discussion?
Just under discussion, Mrs. Peralta, how are we doing in our contingency fund?
We're doing well. I think this is the first time it's been presented to the council.
So the balance after this is over $1 million? That's all I want. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, any other questions or discussion?
Did you get a second, Mayor?
I don't know, did you get a second?
No.
You didn't get a
There
second?
was no second.
Okay.
I'll second.
You called it there.
Oh, did you?
Councilman Diaz said second, okay. So now we have, called the question, I guess, and we have that order to approve. Everyone can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? None? Motion carried unanimously. 6, consideration and possible action of Order 2017-12-073, in order of the City Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, approving settlement in the matter of City of Nogales versus Prestini, Santa Cruz County Superior Court, case number CV 16-063.
Mr. Mayor, I have a statement to make.
Okay.
I want the public to know that I am the president of the Santa Cruz Children's Museum. The settlement of this agreement would allow the city to open up the bids for our proposal that was advertised at the Meadow Hills Country Club. My question is to the city attorney. Do I have a conflict of interest?
You don't have a conflict of interest in voting for this, but you will have a conflict of interest in consideration of that proposal.
But you're clearing me to vote on this?
On this, yes, sir.
Okay, I just wanted to make it known so everybody knows up front, and I've got clearance from the city attorney to vote on the issue.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a little different from.
Yeah, it is, but I want to make sure. I want to learn the hard way.
Okay, that's good. Thank you for asking. Okay, so we're I guess we have an order to approve this settlement in the matter of proceeding. Do you have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved.
Okay. Discussion?
Second.
Second, well,
No, second.
third, I guess. Discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor of this, approving this motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No nays? None? Motion carried unanimously. Going to number 7, consideration and possible action of Order 2017-12-074, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, appointing members to the Appeals Commission. And right now, I have a list of new members for the Appeals Commission, and I believe it's right here. We have, again, I'll just read the whole thing. Order number 2017-12-074. In order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, appointing members to the Appeals Commission. Whereas person to the City of Nogales Personnel Manual, Section 28.04, the Appeals Commission shall consist of 7 residents of the city appointed by City Council and who are not employed by the city and who are not members of any other bodies or commissions from the city. Whereas appointees to the Appeals Commission serve a term of 4 years from the date of their appointment, and whereas there are 3 current members of the Appeals Commission who have expressed their interest in continuing to serve on the City Appeals Commission, and that's Dr. Arnoldo Montiel, Dr. Simon Escalada, and Maria Jesus Aravallo. And so we have 3 more new members. Well, we had 4, but 1 dropped out for personal reasons. And so what we need is to have at least 4, because that's a quorum, but we would have 6 at this point if we agree to appoint all these members to the commission. And again, we have Dr. Well, I mentioned the 3 that are there. We have Mary Darling, Rafael Rocas, and Barbara Mendoza, which I see is here with us today, and Mary too. Thank you so much for coming to our and showing that interest to come today. Thank you. So we have this list of 6 that we need to approve.
Motion to approve, Mayor.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion.
I just want to clarify. Are you reappointing the 3
3, yes.
plus these 3?
Plus 3,
Okay.
and there's
And then
1
when
vacancy.
That's fine. And then just make that clear, and then when you decide on the other one, you could bring that back.
Okay. So we'll leave 1 for a future reference, a future date, but the 6 right now that I mentioned, we need to approve, and we already made the motion and got a second, and see no discussion. All those in favor of approving signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Seeing none, motion carried unanimously. Congratulations, Barbara Mendoza and Mary Darling. You are now members. I have something for you here before you leave I want to give you, and then we're going to give you probably a book on the personnel manual, which I don't know, we'll direct our city manager to get it to all the members so that you can be familiar, or the ones that are familiar to keep on. It's like a little Bible for you, for all of you. Thank you.
Don't they have a hearing like every week?
At 5 o'clock. Okay, thank you so much for showing interest in supporting our city. Thank you. We're going now to number 8, consideration and possible action of Order 2017-12-075, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, authorizing the city manager to execute a one-time, non-recurring holiday payment to each full-time employee.
So moved, Mayor.
Okay.
Second.
We have a second. And open for discussion.
Just on discussion, recommendation, please. Nancy?
So just to clarify, the one-time payment to the employees would be spread out respectively to the fund that they currently work out. It won't all impact the general fund. I have the breakout for each fund if you're interested. But there'll be roughly a cost of about $140,000. And then just so you know, the non-civilian employees who participate in the Arizona State Retirement, they are obligated to pay retirement on this money that they will receive, but sworn officers are not. So they're just a little. So usually the sworn officers will receive a little bit more than the non-civilian or the civilian employees.
Oh, it's good to know that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeanette, for that report. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and call the question to approve order 2017-12-075. All those in favor of approving signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, motion carried unanimously. Before we go on to future agenda items, I think I know we made preliminary. We introduced our new HR director, which is today with us, Julie Stroinsky, and so she's on board right now, helping out, but officially she'll be on. Is it the 15th of this month? 16th. 16th of this month. She's officially. But she'll be here helping out from here to then. So thanks again for joining us here at the city, and we welcome you. Okay, now we go to future agenda items. Yes, Councilman Lucena.
Mayor, I know we had a discussion earlier on having a special meeting next week on Monday. My Monday's pretty packed right now, and I was wondering if we could maybe look at doing it on Tuesday morning at 10:30, if that would work for everybody.
Would that work for the rest of the council? Yes. Tuesday, 10:30, next Tuesday, 10:30?
I have the time.
Okay. George? Okay, so we'll meet at 10:30 next Tuesday. What day is that? December 12th. 12th? Okay. All right, mark it on your calendars. Thank you so much. And anything else on future agenda items?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, go ahead, Councilman.
Would it be possible, Mr. Machado, if you could give us an update on what you've surfaced? I really want to know what's happening with the Rio Rico utilities. They're behind, and we need to do something. I really hope that you can bring that up.
Can we put it on that? You want to put
yes,
it on that
really
meeting?
Would you please?
I don't think I can get it done by Tuesday, but I will.
Give us an update.
Yeah, I'll prepare an update and in writing and get it to you. I don't think I'll get it by Tuesday, but I will get it to you.
Because I really want to. If they're not going to cooperate, then we need to tell them, you go build your own plan, and we got to give them their legal clearance to go ahead. We're not going to let you participate with us anymore.
We have to get them a notice to come in.
Because this bill of them not paying is, we're not going to care.
Can you give us all the ins and outs of the legal steps we have to take?
Yeah, I can put all that in writing. But I don't think I'll get. I know I will not be able to get it done by your special meeting on Tuesday.
Well,
but I can prepare. I can prepare and get it done to you in writing.
Mayor, also, Dr. Felix, when I first got onto the city council, we were talking about that broken sewer line that everybody, the city engineer that left, and we talked about it costing close to $1 million, and the sewer line, and the ADQ, and then it never came back again. So I don't know what happened to the sewer line, if a miracle happened and it cured itself, or did you guys expend money without our authorization? I want to know what happened to that sewer line that made the presentation here, that was of great concern, that it was flowing illegally, and we were responsible for that line that we have no business being for out there by Desert Shadows Middle School in Peña Blanca there. But I want to know what happened to that sewer line. I was reading, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Machado's report, and his report caught my attention that there was a city sanitation truck that an accident was caused, damage to personal vehicles. It cost the insurance, us $1,000 for each, but it was $36,000, and the word in the report says that the arm disengaged. I don't know how an arm disengaged, but I would like to know what happened there. Was it the manufacturer's fault, or was it the personnel's fault? I'd just like to know, because these expenses, I know, especially with the police department accidents with their vehicles, is seeming to get out of control now. And we need to start finding out what's going on with these things, if we can get a report on that. Mr. Mayor, I had asked, and I know that he needed some time, but the police chief, I asked that he give a report on the cameras and the vests, January or February, so we don't forget about that. We also agreed that, Mr. Machado, you were going to present us with a consent agenda policy.
Sure.
At the last meeting, you said you would,
Sure.
if we could get that. And also, Mayor, Mr. Machado, for legality purposes, I would like a policy to present to the board for the council, mayor and council, for them to have the police and the fire chief give us a report. I would like to see that from now on, the entry of all police officers and firefighters must have, at a minimum, for new applicants, a minimum of an Associate of Arts degree as a policy statement. If you could develop that and give us some background on that. And then today, Mayor, for one reason or another, I was noticing on my computer, our first study session wasn't televised. So I asked Mr. Kissinger, he verified that it wasn't televised. The practice should be that every time we have a meeting, everything gets televised. And I think that there was a problem before. Mr. Kissinger gave me a little background. Everything that we do when we meet should be televised, not just certain meetings. Everything gets televised. So I don't know, Mayor, I leave it up to you if we need to take action, or if you can just direct the acting city manager for, you televise all of our meetings. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Is that all we need, direction? Or do we need to? No? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Varona, for those statements and clarifying some of those issues.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Is there anything else? Yes, Councilman Diaz.
An update on the amphitheater grant. See how we're doing with the amphitheater?
Yes, we are meeting, we've had a couple of meetings about the wall, the park here, and we're going to prepare some draft plans probably by next week, so? No, about 2 weeks from now.
Give yourself a little time here, because this is a busy, there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah. Well, we've got some preliminary
because
plans already.
we do have time for it. This is probably not the best time of the year to start working.
No.
So there's a little time. It's not.
We just need to bring a concept back to the board, and so we've tried to finalize
No,
that.
actually, it's just an update.
Yeah.
No rush.
Thank you.
I think as long as there's time for the grant, right?
Yeah.
Do we have a time limit on the grant?
They just gave it this over.
You know, we've got a year to do it, and but we're doing well with time on that.
Yeah, the amphitheater back there, well, during that time, go over there to the Hennessy Trust and tell them to donate the property so we can make that thing.
Make it bigger.
Make it bigger and nicer.
Extra,
Silence, huh?
extra seat.
Now you're quiet. Now you're quiet.
All right. All right, so see no other future agenda items. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, thank you. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.